Today we are gathered to celebrate Ramayana. Ramayana is a very auspicious day in our Vedic culture. Today we don't have a clue when the actual Ram Raja began, but the estimates range from 125,000 to 3,500 years ago. Yet, throughout the world where our culture has spread, Ramayana is celebrated. We have to ask ourselves, why do we still remember the Ramayana? Ingrained in us is a connection to this ancient event, and we still actively participate in celebrating Ram's birthday to this day. To understand the immense impression in our minds made by the Ram Raja, we have to look at a Bhagavad Gita shlok. When we study chapter 3, shlok 27 in the Gita, we can get an understanding of the characters in the Ramayana. The shlok states that all actions, in all situations, are performed by the gunas of Prakriti. He who is completely deluded by his ego thinks, I am the doer. The above shlok says that we are all suffering from delusion, and this is why we think that we are the doers of actions. But in reality, we just happen to be there when the action is done through our bodies. We, the soul, do nothing. It is various forms of nature, Prakriti, that does actions. Our body is part of nature, and thus it does these actions. Even the mind is part of nature, and is also under the control of the gunas of it. And thus, its behaviors are also not those of the soul. But when we understand that we are the soul, and we are just going on a journey, witnessing actions happening within us, then we can truly enjoy this life. The one thing we need to do is to dissociate ourselves from this nature and bring about our true behavior. So now, let's apply this to the Ramayana. Look at all the important characters we still remember in Ramayana. Ram and Sita, Bharat and Mandavi, Lakshman and Urmila, Shatrughan and Shrutakirti, Dasharath, and his queens Kaushalya and Sumrita, in addition to Jatayu, Hanuman, Sugriv, Vibhishan, and more. These characters exhibit the understanding of the phrase that I am the soul and my existence in this world is temporary. We, the soul, only live to learn our lessons, and then we go back to God. Even though Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Bharat grew up in the nature of a palace, they were dissociated from the palace environment. They readily left the palace to do their duties. Ram never did anything selfishly. He was even willing to perform the last funeral rites for Ravan if Vibhishan wouldn't do them. Ram walked away from the kingdom the second his mother commanded him to do so. Even Bharat did not want the kingdom and ruled as a subordinate of Ram. He even lived for 14 years in a hut outside the city and only came into the city for his official duties. Lakshman left the palace and followed Ram into the jungle because he was duty bound to Ram. His wife did not protest, but let him devote himself to Ram. Sita followed her husband into the forest without the slightest hesitation. Mother Kaushalya gave Ram permission to go to the forest. Jatayu knew he could not defeat Ravan, so to him, death was acceptable as long as he did the good deed of freeing Mata Sita. Hanuman did not lose sight of his duty to Ram and overcame overwhelming obstacles to reach Mata Sita. He even offered to take her back to Ram, as he was confident in his ability to undertake the task. None of the characters in the Ramayana exhibit self-centeredness because they knew about the temporary nature of their existence in this world. Their detachment, dispassion, and selflessness have made deep impressions on our minds, and thus we cannot forget the Ramayana. Many of us long for that kind of environment, but just wishing does not make it happen. We all have to bring true understanding of ourselves and guide ourselves to work together to bring back an environment like that of the Ramayana. Thank you.